I'm interested in our Christmas tradition. We've been doing that for longer than I've been around. How did that get started?
Oh, my grandparents, man, they, you know, the days, well, I was small, I can't remember. I think the day before Christmas Eve, they would go down there and they'd make raviolis, and they had the steamer trunk. You see that?
Yeah.
Well, they had 2 or 3 of them because my grandfather, you know, they used to from Italy. He used to go to Italy every once in a while, you know. Well, they put a bed sheet on it, and they put all the raviolis that they make, and they left them there all night. Out.
Outside?
Yeah, right on top of the bed sheet.
Yeah.
On top of the trunk?
Yeah. 2 trunks. They had 2 trunks.
Yeah.
And they'd line them all up, and the next day we'd cook them at lunch. You know, Angie and Jimmy would be there. That was a big deal for me because I'd see James, you know.
Yeah, his cousin.
I had nobody to play with, really.
Yeah.
And so that was, you know, they would always like it because they had a lot of olives and drink, and always could drink a little bit of wine with the sugar in it, you know. It was a big deal. So, and then my grandparents died off, and then my parents, Lillian and my mother and Elsie, they started making them, and then, but they used to leave it out.
Leave it overnight.
Yeah.
So they'd make it Christmas Eve.
Christmas.
So they wouldn't freeze them.
No,
They just
no.
leave them overnight.
No,
And on
that's-
Christmas they cook them.
Christmas, they take them up, put them in a pot, boil them. Maybe the boiling killed all the bugs. I don't know.
You wonder.
Yeah, then we're always in the living room. That's the only time we ever have a big deal. They put the thing out, and everybody were there. It was a big deal. Then we'd have it at lunch. Was a big. Then the leftover. We come about 4 or 5 o'clock. We come back and eat what was left over.
Right.
And everybody, because one time when Gene, we weren't married yet, so my aunt Edna had a Sunday party, had everybody over, Jimmy, you know, at her house, and so I brought Gene, you know, and she had a big table, you know, they had spaghetti, and then they had roast, and they had cheeses and stuff, and all that. Oh man, she was eating it. Oh man, really good. It says, then you come back at 4 again? And we went back again at 5 o'clock, and we had another one. She couldn't believe it.
Right.
But that was routine.
You had your ravioli for lunch and then again for dinner, leftovers.
You know, the ones that, some of them say, well, I can't, I'm going home. But
Right.
everybody always picked over what was left over. So, but then, well, that was the other thing. I was fishing, and Christmas, one Christmas I was fishing, got stuck out there because we broke down.
Yeah.
And my parents said, we're not going to have raviolis. Andy's not here, we're not going to have raviolis.
Yeah.
And then Gene said, I'll make them.
Oh, man.
Mrs. Corander she come over here, they made them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And my parents said, hey, she made them good. Yeah. From then on, that was it.
Oh, I didn't know
So
that.
Grandma started making them from that point on.
Yeah.
Because you got stuck out on Christmas.
Yeah, because they didn't want to make it because I wasn't home.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but I came home, I think, New Year's Day, I think.
Yeah.
Came
Yeah,
home.
not too long after that.
And she said, from then on, I think we started making them. You know, and so it wasn't that big a deal, you know, because, you know, Lillian, it was used to, everything was perfect. You know?
Yeah.
They cut every, your mother just went into it.
Volume.
Yeah, volume, yeah. Then she refined it, you know, and then we've been doing it, and then everybody's looking forward to it.
Well, I remember having it over there when I was 19. That's when I set my record of 66 raviolis.
They were smaller back then.
They were smaller. This one had a smaller
I
pan.
can't believe I ate the whole thing, huh?
That would have been like 74.
You ate them?
No, it was 1974 is when we had them over there. So somewhere after 74 is when Mom took them over. Because you fished till like 83. So somewhere in there, Grandma took it over.
Right.
And then at some point it just, then when I guess,
I don't know.
Soy and the girls, and I don't know if I contributed.
At what point did the green cat get started?
The what?
The green cat.
Well, it's like 20
Oh
years.
man, that was
Cause we knew it for a while, and then it was lost for like the 5 years, and then it was like
Right.
8 years before that. Oh, and Martha was still around.
Who?
And Martha was.
Oh, yeah,
still around.
that was, she had it for a while, they thought it was lost,
Right.
she had it,
Yeah,
oh, that, I don't know, 50 years, 60 years?
that's a great question.
Yeah, it was a,
Well, when did we start having, when did we start having contests?
Right.
well, that's when they started, before, at first they just gave it, you know, somebody won it, then the next year it showed up, hey, look at this, remember who wanted this? Then it would show up 3 or 4, then they started keeping track of it.
Yeah, that's when we had a piece of
Right.
paper.
Right.
And then
I
writing.
think it's still down there.
Yeah,
You look at it?
I think it's
yeah.
down.
Is it in the other room or is it here?
No, down, no, either that one or try the next one.
Yeah, right here.
There's a paper,
But when did we start recording right away? So what's our earliest recorded date?
yeah, but it was well before that,
Yeah, I know.
yeah.
1993,
Oh.
Really?
year before I was born.
93,
93, he's 27, so 28 years. And that, so probably a good 30 years. We didn't
yeah,
start right away.
oh, no problem.
So 30 years.
Oh, I think it was not before that.
So the raviolis, you'd say, is that about, at this point, it's probably 100 years tradition, because if your grandparents.
Oh, yeah.
before you were
Oh,
born,
oh,
were
no
every
doubt
Christmas
about it.
till
10
now.
years old.
If you don't have gastric acidity, if you don't have nausea, if you don't have acid reflux, if you don't need Alka-Seltzer, if you don't need Tums, you haven't eaten enough. Don't leave Stagnaro's without at least one of the above. But you know,
Yeah.
that's what, when they started making them, they're using beef brains, you know.
Right, yeah, tell me that part of the story.
Well, I'm gonna fill in because they never talked about it because we've always had brains, get the brains, freezing brains, you know. Then now the kids start saying, hey, you know, brain, hey, brain, this and that, you know. But the thing is, in those days, you don't throw nothing away when you're hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they put it in there. But you know, finding out, I'm looking, you know how much cholesterol's in them? Thousands.
Oh, was that right?
I looked
The
up,
flavor comes from.
that's whatever, because I looked up, we were talking about shrimp the other night. He said, oh, shrimp's got a lot of the fish is worse for calories,
Oh.
for
Cholesterol.
cholesterol. He says, and then beef ribs, I looked it up and it was, I don't know, 1,200 or something, and everything else was like 90 or
Oh my gosh, really?
Wow.
yeah, well, your mother, you know, your mother was smart. You know, when she was sick, she used to watch everything she ate,
Right.
check everything. She never talked about it,
Right.
but she got books over there. You can look it up. I'll tell you what food, how much calories each
Protein,
one, and
protein.
protein, this and that, and broke it all down. But she's got books. So I looked it up the other day, and it was way up there.
Wow.
Fantastic. Beef brains and cow, some other pork brains, that they were all way up there.
Brains. And so, at what point did we stop putting them in the?
Well,
raviolis?
a while now.
not really long ago, 10, 15 years.
Wasn't it when you started dating mom? She was like, oh, I don't like brains. Let's do 2 different sets, one with brains, one without.
We
brains.
did. We did the brainless, the smart ones and the dumb
Yeah.
ones.
And the very next year, you just did all.
Yeah.
brains.
Yeah, well,
Wow.
then we start putting pork in there. You know.
I think we're putting that right, pork.
Pork, yeah, and a lot of people put chicken.
Mm.
Sometimes don't even do that. You get it now. They put cheese. You know,
Yeah,
it's
just
not the
cheese.
same.
No,
Not the same.
No. You gotta have some type of.
You don't got the goop. And
No.
No.
But that Christmas was a big deal. 1,000, more or less 1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1,000 every year.
Yeah.
1,300 is the record that I recall. 1,000's a lot, because we've had.
But you know the
26
secret
people there.
that people making it you got to watch when I'm gone. When they start rolling the stuff out, make it thin.
Oh, I know.
People they get tired of rolling it,
Yeah, it'll make it.
and you got real thick and it tastes dough.
It's all doughy.
Yeah.
That's why we buy these commercial ones, you know, in cans and frozen, it's all dough.
So if you can see through it,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, you see the grain,
you see the grain, that's it,
you know it's good.
The grain.
that's a
goes to the
secret, don't
table.
tell anybody.
I know.